What's going on, party people? Party people, what's going on? Let's go ahead and talk about this situation that's going on between Rihanna, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. Now, if you guys don't know, Rihanna teamed up with Amazon to do this documentary about her life. Now, this documentary is supposed to be released later on this year, but there's been a wrench thrown in the game because the streets are saying that Beyonce and Jay-Z are pressed about this documentary that Rihanna is going to release because allegedly she's exposing some personal things, some personal behind the scenes issues and altercations that went down between her, Beyonce, and Jay-Z. Now, I'm hearing that they've been arguing behind the scenes about the content that's going to be within this documentary, right? Now, Rihanna is supposed to go into great detail about how she felt when her album back in 2016, Anti, was leaked early. The word is on that is that Rihanna feels that Jay-Z actually had a hand in leaking her album early just to help Beyonce's formation, right? So Rihanna has a problem with Jay-Z and Beyonce, and there was a constant conflict behind the scenes about that situation. So much so that Rihanna elected to sign with Spotify instead of signing with Jay-Z's streaming service called Tidal Wave. So there was a big rift between the three of them in that regard. Now, I'm also hearing that Rihanna is supposed to talk about if there was a romantic relationship between her and Jay-Z. So if that's true, that's really a big deal. It means that Jay-Z and Rihanna's relationship is actually fractured if Rihanna is trying to put these things out in her documentary. Now, Rihanna is expected to expose Beyonce and who Beyonce really is behind the scenes. Rihanna is citing that Beyonce was so jealous of her and the relationship she had with Jay-Z that she was also jealous of the fact that Rihanna was able to recover certain tracks for certain songs, meaning that Beyonce may have wanted a say-so in some of the beats that Rihanna has gotten for some of the songs that are on her albums, and the fact that Beyonce was always worried about Rihanna becoming bigger than her. Now, according to a few connections that I have out in LA now, for some reason I've been blessed that people have started contacting me and just talking about certain things. I'm also hearing that Beyonce always heard Rihanna's footsteps when it came to making music. She was extremely worried that Rihanna could take her place. Now, I know a lot of people who are Beyonce fans would be like, oh, that would never happen. But in my estimation, if you grade everything on a music base, Rihanna puts out better music, in my opinion, than Beyonce does. So I can see where Beyonce could get a little bit nervous that Rihanna was coming to take that spot. Now, Rita Ora, let's talk about her for just a second, then we'll get back to Rihanna, because I don't want to forget this information. So Rita was signed to Jay-Z. She's not signed to Jay-Z anymore. I believe she signed with Warner Brothers. But anyway, this is the thing. When Beyonce dropped Lemonade, it was heavily rumored that Beyonce was referring to Dame Dash's ex-wife and Rachel Roy, but that wasn't the case. She was actually talking about this girl, Rita Ora. Remember when Beyonce was like, Becky with the good hair and whatever the case may be? And Rita Ora trolled Beyonce by posting this picture right here in regards to the Lemonade album. Now, when you zoom in closely, you can see that she has 2 lemons across her chest, and also she has a chain around her neck with the letter J. So she was definitely trolling Beyonce with her attire. Now, I'm also hearing that behind the scenes that Rihanna and Solange, which is Beyonce's sister, got into an argument over Jay-Z. So these are some things that we haven't heard or seen. So I'm hearing that Rihanna is being chastised behind the scene by Jay-Z, trying to stop the project, asking her, why would you do such a thing? This is very disrespectful and things of that nature. So we'll just have to see what happens. She's also going to talk about her father and how he tried to make money off of her name. And she's also going to talk about the relationship she had with that billionaire cat by the name of Hassan. So anyway, we're just going to have to sit back and see if Rihanna is brave enough to put out this information, and I'm telling you, they're saying that Beyonce and Jay-Z are not thrilled about this at all. So behind the scenes, they're going to task with one another about, this situation. So listen, I want to just leave that right there. and we'll see what happens when this documentary airs. But anyway, let's transition to the next story in
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
Alright, y'all, so we got 50 Cent in the news again with this son Marquise. And 50 Cent recently did an interview with Van Latham, who used to work for TMZ, and they was just talking about the situation. And 50 Cent said that he doesn't love his son anymore. I want you guys to take a look at this interview, right? And then I'll be back to give you my 2 cents.
Is there any chance at a reconciliation between you and your son? Because a lot of people from the outside, the boy looked just like you. A lot of people from the outside think that situation is sad, man, that y'all can't come to something.
It is sad. It's a sad situation, right? And when you pray for success, you don't necessarily pray for the things that come with it, right? And there's no such thing as success without jealousy, without envy, or entitlement. And entitlement is growing in someone you love in the scariest part, right? And his mom developed an entitlement that cannot be met. Filtering that energy through his actual personal interests. Let's say now that he's starting to like females, he's conscious of what kind of shoes he want to wear. I need these Jordans, the retro Jordans is coming, different things. And then his mother go, all right, I'll get them for you, but it just bothers me because you're supposed to have them all. So while being a privileged child, he feels deprived of everything I didn't have. I can tell you how much my kids cost. In New York State, 1.360. You see what I'm saying? And I don't have an issue with paying the support fund. The reason why I'm the way I am with those kind of situations, I pay my support that year that the baby's born. Move the money to the account, let it, and it automatically disperses a certain amount of money per each month. So with him, I noticed over the years like it developed because I blamed it on his mom for a long time. But it's not his mother, it's him. Like I've gone places where he was at, he left.
Fifth, you love your son?
I used to. You ask yourself how long, a complicated question would say, how long can you love something that don't love you back? I didn't think success would cost me my firstborn, but it's the situation. It's like my grandfather would say, if rather like a snake, if it slithered like a snake, is it a snake or do you need to be bit? Right? And that's the Aiken, South Carolina, and just the country, she'll say. And what he keeps saying is every time you see the boy, he's show up with somebody you got a problem with. What does that take? People will always try to make relationships on a common bond of disliking someone. Like, be friends with you because your enemy is my enemy.
Yeah.
And he sees himself that way. To the extent where he's actually taking pictures with Preem's son or doing different things that, and you go, well, I'm like, I don't even understand where your motivation comes from with these things. But
can you excuse any of that because of how young he is?
No, he's 23 years old, 24 years old. It's not a baby no more. It's a grown man. I look at you as you grown, your decisions that you make as you start to pass what they would have did to us. They would have charged me like an adult at 15. So at 23, it's like you grown in my head. My homeboys, they had their babies at 15. At that point in the neighborhood, that was when you actually got into, we started the thing. You know what I'm saying? It started to really get into, and everybody 15, 16 years old was the point that he was having kids. So like I was super late with him because I didn't want to have, something that I didn't actually connect with because we both was babies, at that point. And then later, I mean, all these things don't turn out the way you want it. Life just doesn't work like that.
So I'm not going to take that long to express my opinion on this situation because I've done several videos in regards to this situation. But I will say this, after taking a step back and looking at 50's perspective on things, I do have to admit that his son was wrong for taking a picture with Supreme's son, all right? I mean, those cats almost took your father out of here. So what are you doing taking a picture with Supreme's son? That is very disrespectful. But I do feel that 50 Cent should be the bigger man in this situation and try to establish a relationship with his son again. You know, and a little part of me feel that 50 Cent is upset and bitter at his son because his son is better at trolling folks than he actually is. But anyway, I'm gonna let this go. I want you guys to drop down in the comments and give me your true thoughts and assessments on this entire situation dealing with Beyonce and Rihanna and Jay-Z. And also, how do you feel about 50 Cent saying that he doesn't love his son anymore? Drop down in the comments and let a brother know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll get with you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.